Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Life Coaching with myself and my team of guides and angels who are here to empower you and uplift you and ultimately to support you on your journey. So today is more for the children. So if you have a child in your life, if you're a parent, a guardian, a grandparent, this video is for you. I get a lot of questions from parents for their children. And so a lot of the questions I get is my child has anxiety and my child sees spirits and my child has this supernatural ability and gifts. And I've heard so many stories of so many children who have such amazing gifts. And these parents and caregivers are at loss of what they should do and how they can care for these beautiful children who are still very much connected to the spiritual realm. And today is all about that. So ultimately, I wrote a book recently for my daughter who had anxiety at 6 years old. And this anxiety is because she is very much connected to the spiritual realm, and she still is. And this anxiety was coming from a place of not feeling safe. And so my job as not only a mom, but as an intuitive guide was to help her and to empower her and to ultimately guide her on her journey. And that was connecting with spirit and angels and asking what I could do to do that for her. So this book that I wrote, I Am Always Taken Care Of, is a book that I would recommend to any parent, to any grandparent, to any caregiver who has a child that not only has anxiety, but that is very much connected to the spiritual realm. So here's my book, I Am Always Taken Care Of. And the book is very much a reflection of how we can help these children, depicted through a story of a little girl who begins her day, goes throughout her day experiencing different scenarios and emotions and situations, and then ultimately ending her day. And her guardian angel is there watching over her, but is the one that is telling the story to her as she goes throughout her day, leaving her signs and symbols and messages. So if you have a child with anxiety, if you have a child that is experiencing this connection to the spiritual realm and you want to help them, you want to empower them, my message for you is to remind them every single day how safe they are, to remind them that they are never alone and they are always protected and watched over. So if your child has a very special gift, who does see spirits, who does communicate with departed loved ones, that is something to empower them with. And you can encourage that through the power of prayer, through the power of sitting down together and acknowledging their gifts and acknowledging that they are safe with their gifts. And I would encourage you to watch the last video or 2 videos ago about the empaths and psychic self-defense. So it's important for children also to practice psychic self-defense. And when you are getting into the world of energies, that is also more recommended to just, that added layer of protection. But ultimately, it's about trusting. So you can help your child start trusting themselves and trusting their messages by showing them, by explaining to them that if it feels good and it makes you feel happy, then those messages are coming from a place of divine love. If it doesn't feel good and it doesn't feel happy, redirect that focus to the power of prayer and the power of love and knowing that your child is safe. So for instance, I had a mom who had sent me a message saying that her son was seeing spirits, but that he was fearful of them. He was scared of them and he didn't know how to get them away. He didn't know how to put up his boundaries. And that's actually pretty common. It's pretty common for, a 5-year-old to come to you and say, oh my God, mommy, I see this man in my room and he's scaring me. And as a mom going, oh my God, what am I supposed to do to help him? So putting up boundaries with spirit, if that's the case, if that's how your child is feeling, to reassure your child that he is in fact safe and to call on his spirit guides and his angels and of course departed loved ones to keep them safe and protected. But most of the time, and I want to say like 99% of the time, there is no spirits there to harm you, to scare you. They are there to let you know that they're there and that they love you and that they protect you. But sometimes they come off a little too strong. And I know that because sometimes spirits do come off a little too strong. And you need to put up your boundaries when it comes to spirits, because ultimately, I am a spirit in a physical body, just as you, just as your child, and just as a departed loved one who's crossing over. All they do is leave their physical bodies, but their presence is still there, is still around you, is still around your children. So to put up those boundaries is just as you would with any other person. You can kindly and lovingly explain to these spirits what they're doing to your child, that they're causing fear. And most of the time, these spirits will then recognize, what they're doing. Sometimes they don't, and that's okay. And as you put those boundaries in place and you're physically expressing, to spirit how you're feeling, most of the time they kind of just back off a little bit. So, and that's what you want. So you want to make sure that your children feel safe and secure when they're entering, the world of spirit, and that, ultimately they are safe, and just to remind them of that every day. Most of the time, these children are very empathic and very, very sensitive. So I would highly recommend going to look at the previous videos that I've done about empathic and psychic self-defense and shielding yourself, and to kind of teach that to your children, to teach that to them, that they can do that at any moment where they're feeling, fearful or, unsure, just to do that psychic self-defense. I know that it has helped my daughter tremendously with, speaking and being around spirit. So psychic self-defense, and to always remind your children that they are safe and guided and protected, to never fear spirit. They're not there to harm you. They're there to love you and to just let you know that they are there. So this book that I wrote, I Am Always Taken Care Of, there is a page in the book that I would like to actually share with you, because not only does it empower these children, but it kind of gives them that reassurance, kind of like all summed up in one. So it says, "You can ask me anything. You can tell me all of your worries and fears, and you will see that by talking to me, they all disappear." So here it is. And here it is. And so you see this little girl, and she's kind of praying, and she's unsure, and her guardian angel is in the corner and kind of relaying those messages to her through feelings, and that she knows that she's always taken care of, and that it's okay to talk about the emotions. So a lot of times children don't talk about them. They push them down because they feel like it's not normal that they're experiencing these emotions or they're seeing these spirits. But if they talk about them, if you have an open dialogue with your children and you explain to them that these things are real and that there's nothing to be afraid of, your children will then express how they're feeling, their emotions, and by releasing those emotions, it makes room for that reassurance. It makes room for trust, and to always remember that they're always taken care of and that they're always safe. So I also have a guided meditation for children that you can view on my YouTube channel, and you can download if you have a copy of the book. And this meditation is really to help ground your children, to bring them to the present moment through their senses and through what they're seeing. And I feel like when you listen to this guided meditation at nighttime with your children, it will kind of just give them that downtime that they're looking for, and that feeling of love and reconnecting with their spirit. So I hope this video helped you. I hope that this video was empowering to those watching. If this video resonates with you, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to share these messages with somebody who might need them today. So sending you all my love. Namaste.